I remember in the early days, some brahmacharis, they would just have negative attitudes towards women. And that was because of the dynamic of the opposite side of the same coin, attraction, repulsion. So, we're interested in being attracted to Krishna. And Krishna's attraction, we have some nice verses here, Krishna's attraction is mentioned in many verses in the Vedic literatures. One verse, of course, the famous verse from the Brahma Samhita. Venam kanantamadavinda dalayat taksham avatam ashitam buddha sundarangam sundarangam kandarapakoti kamaniya vishesha shovam govinda madi purisham tamaham bhajami. Translation is, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who's adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head bedecked with peacock feather, of course Krishna and Vrindavan, with a figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds and his unique loveliness, charming millions of cupids. And then from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's some really interesting quotes about Krishna becoming attracted even to his own beauty. This is from the Adi Leela, chapter 4. Text, some people like to look it up. Of course, no one here is looking up. Text 143. Let me read the Bengali. It's really nice. Amara Madhurya Nichanaval Navahaya Swaswa Prema Anurupa Bhakti Ashvadaya. My sweetness is always newer and newer. Devotees taste it according to their own respective love. In other words, Krishna's beauty is dynamic. It's not static. It's always increasing. How is that possible? I mean, I haven't seen anybody in this world whose beauty is always increasing. Usually with the time factor, it's the opposite. There's another beauty decreases with time. Now, here's the next verse. I'm not going to read all the Bengali because we don't have that much time. If I see my sweetness in a mirror, I am tempted to taste it. But nevertheless, I cannot. Next verse. If I deliberate on a way to taste it, I find that I hanker for the position of Radhika. So in other words, one of the reasons that why Krishna appears as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that he really wants to see his own beauty. Not just in a mirror or in a lake like that. I mean, sometimes there's some descriptions that Krishna looks at his own reflection and becomes stunned. Who is that person? Isn't it? Who is that beautiful person? Who is that attractive person? And Prabhupada explains that Krishna's attractiveness is wonderful and unlimited. No one can know the end of it. Srimati Radharani alone can relish such extensiveness from her position in the Ashraya category. So she's the repository of love. Krishna is the Vishaya in this particular context. The mirror of Srimati Radharani's transcendental love is perfectly clear, yet it appears clearer and clearest in the transcendental method of understanding Krishna. In the mirror of Radharani's heart, the transcendental features of Krishna appear increasingly new and fresh. In other words, the attraction of Krishna increases in proportion to the understanding of Srimati Radharani. This is such a beautiful purport. Each tries to supersede the other. There's the competition in attractiveness. Neither wants to be defeated in increasing the intensity of love. Wow. Lord Krishna, in desiring to understand Radharani's attitude of increasing love, Lord Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here's some more quotes. Who manifests an abundance of sweetness greater than mine, which has never been experienced before, and which causes wonder to all. At last I myself, my mind bewildered upon seeing this beauty, impetuously desires to enjoy it, like Srimati Radharani. So this verse is actually from the Lita Madhava, which Srila Rupa Goswami wrote. The beauty of Krishna has one natural excuse me, strength. It thrills the hearts of all men and women, beginning with Lord Krishna himself. And then finally, the last verse in the CC. All minds are attracted by hearing his sweet voice and flute, or by seeing his beauty. Even Lord Krishna himself makes efforts to taste that sweetness. And now we have some quotes from the Nectar of Devotion about Krishna's beautiful bodily features. Any comparison of the different parts of the Lord's body to different material objects cannot factually be a complete comparison. Ordinary persons who cannot understand how exalted are the bodily features of the Lord are simply given a chance to understand by a material comparison. You know, just like we have this elephants and rut type of, it's a material comparison, but this is to help us understand. It's not that when you're doing it, utilizing a metaphor or analogy or something like that, or comparison, it's not that it's a complete understanding. It just points you in the right direction. So you can't challenge a particular philosophical point by challenging the metaphor. The metaphor is just to help with the understanding. It's not proof. It is said that Krishna's face is as beautiful as the moon. His thighs are powerful like the trunks of elephants. We heard this before. His arms are like two pillars. His palms are expanded like lotus flowers. You know, I guess I'm showing my palms. It's kind of funny. Anyway, I mean, I'm reading it and I'm thinking of palms, so that's why I put my palms. It's a natural response. His chest is just like a doorway. It's broad. It's just, you know, I guess that's why people exercise. Pump iron, you know. Like that. Actually, you see this sometimes when a lady walks in the room, the men expand their chest. It's just like happens automatically. So it's just like a doorway. His hips are dens. You know. So in other words, sometimes it's when you see Krishna's beauty, it's almost there's aspects like a woman's body than the material world. The hips are really big, and the middle of his body is a terrace. Here's another description of Krishna's body for the Nectar of Devotion. I love this. There are certain characteristics of different limbs which are considered to be very auspicious and fully present in the body of the Lord. In this connection, one friend of Nanda Maharaj, speaking about Lord Krishna's auspicious bodily symptoms, said, "My dear king of the cowards, I can find 32 auspicious symptoms on the body of your son. I'm wondering how this boy could have taken birth in a family of coward men." You know, because Vaishyas, they certainly look a certain way, and Krishna didn't really fit in. Generally, when Lord Krishna appears, he does so in a family of Kshatriyas, kings, as did Lord Ramchandra, sometimes in a family of Brahmanas. But Krishna accepted the role of a son to Nanda Maharaj despite the fact that Nanda belonged to the Vaishya community. I'm skipping a little bit. Therefore, his friend, who may have been born. Just keeping an eye on this at the same time. Let me just continue to go on it for my phone. Wait a second. I don't want people to miss the class. It just takes a second to do this. Nonsense, internet. Okay, we are continuing. So, just turn it off. Hey, okay. Oh, generally, yes, we read this already. He pointed out the auspicious signs in the body of Krishna. The boy is foster father. The boy has reddish luster in 7 places: his eyes, the palms of his hands, the soles of his feet, his palate, his lips, his tongue, and nails. A reddish luster in these 7 places considered to be auspicious. 3 parts of his body are very broad: his waist, forehead, and chest. 3 parts of the body are short: his neck, thighs, and genitals. 3 parts of his body are deep: his voice, intelligence, and navel. Anyway, so I have so many quotes here. Let's see. Oh, here. I just wanted to read Prabhupada's quote from the Lita Madhava. It's actually from the Nectar Devotion. Regarding Krishna's attractive features being ever fresh, there's a statement by Radharani in the Lita Madhava in which Krishna is compared to the greatest sculptor because he is expert in chiseling at the chastity of women. In other words, although chaste women may follow the rules and regulations of Vedic principles to become very faithful to their husband, Krishna is able to break their stone-like chastity with the chisel of his beauty. Most of the girlfriends of Krishna were married, but because Krishna was their friend before their marriages, they could not forget his attractive features, which were always fascinating to them, even after their marriages. Anyway, there's so many quotes about Krishna's ecstatic beauty. I have them here. Just one of the quote from the Bhagavatam. Ayate sujata charanam buruham staneshu bita shanai priya dadi mahi karkasheshu. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breast, feeling that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. Okay, any questions or comments? We have to, actually, it's time to greet the deities over time. So I guess that's it. All glories to His divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, ki jai.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Mainam Kanvan
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Kriya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Jiram Gaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya
Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham Bhajami
Govindam Adi Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Namaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham
Delay Shimate Bhakti Vedanta Samaniti Namine Shimate Bhakti Vedanta Samaniti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gopani Pacha Nivasesha Shunyavagale Vasachade Sarande Nivasesha Shunyavade Vasachade Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gajana Shiva Sade Gaura Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Shiva Sade Gaura Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sade Gaura Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Goloka
Pradiphanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pradipanam Pranamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smarane Nakala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dordaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Charorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktirahoi Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripaya Tavapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrashim Vichintaya Nayanam Galadashadarya Varanam Gadgadaridaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Ravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Aslishyava Padamratam Padastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatatava Vindatolam Patomat Prananatas Dusaeva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything for our worshipful Lord unconditionally. Jasika ki jai. Jai. Safe travels, Mahamantra. So he may have to stay. maybe Krishna has an arrangement because of the problems in Bolivia. No, but his mom is there. And for those who are here tomorrow, we're having Harinam between 12 and 1:30 at Weaver Street Market because Saturday it's going to rain. So tomorrow, Friday morning, or noon, 12 o'clock. Maybe you'll still be here. Hariba.